Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon for March 9th, 2019, with your hosts, Spaceworker2448 and Rapid Epsilon.
Hi.
We have some weird and dumb things to talk about. Just gonna put that on the table. Do what?
You're exactly right. There is some dumb things to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
That's why everything was loud. I forgot I did that. I was like, why is everything just so loud right now? Gotta love it when I turn the master volume up for one reason and forget. By the way, it didn't affect anything on stream. It just really screwed with me.
But there at least is one good thing, followed by a dumb thing. But it's there.
As long as it's not followed by a Geo thing, then we're doing real good.
Yeah, I was describing to you this week's Raw episode that I want to say I'm missing context because I wasn't paying attention to half the episode. But for all I know, I'm not. Which, yay, Geo gives me more reasons to hate it every fucking week. God. Ugh.
Also,
by the way,
I meant to mention, I love the fact that Sogo and Gates acted surprised that was another Geo. I mean,
yeah.
Another rider gets blown up, turns into another rider. Does
We've
that
had
not
this happen
sound
before.
like what they do on a weekly basis?
To be fair, that only happened once. And apparently the guy only stole another 5. So he did not, in fact, steal another Forze. Maybe.
But, okay, both Sogo and Gates both saw the exact same thing happen. Sogo actually saw it twice. He was there for both. How do you act surprised by your own gimmick?
Maybe they were expecting another decade and it's like, another Geo? Wait. So how the fuck are we still here? I can't wait for that to never be asked out of anyone on this fucking cast.
It'll never get asked. You know that as well as I do.
I'm just gonna...
Even though I feel like they were trying to allude to it by, you know, the whole end scene with Schwartz being his best Woz impersonation.
Yep.
But yeah, I feel like that question won't get asked at all.
Yeah, the reason they're worried is because, wait, we're trying to get rid of Geo. Why would we make another Geo? Literally. That is what they're worried about. They're not worried about the, wait a minute.
How are we still
should
here?
Be gone. Why haven't we wiped our, what's going...
Uh-huh.
Why is the same thing that happens to the other riders not happening to us?
Yeah.
So, yay.
Geo's
and
just really not being coherent anymore. Let's just put it that way.
You know what's even more hilarious?
What?
The Super Sentai Strongest Battle special that's been airing for the last, 3 weeks and had its last episode today because they delayed Ryu's Ogre debuting by a month. It's actually good. Like, it's good. It makes sense. It even has a sneaky little, like, thing you wouldn't pick up on until you find out who the main villain is, and then you're like, wait a minute. Whoop. Wait a minute. There's someone missing here in terms of these Ranger lineups. Oh, I see why. And the characters are good. Hell, look at Takaharu, who I didn't like in Ninja, is actually a decent guy here because he's reined in. Hell, 3/5 of the main cast are from shows I don't like, and I like them here, and they're good. That is how good this special has been. And what's hilarious is that the special had to have been put together, shot, or scripted and shot only within the last, like, 3 months or so, I would think. And has been just kind of slapdash together as best they could. And it's still better than Geo. Like, ponder that for a second. A Sentai special put together because we wanted to delay the next series by a month, like on a whim, is better written than Geo 20 episodes into its run.
Doesn't surprise me.
Just ponder how the fuck that one came out. If anything, that Sentai special should be like slapdash, feel like it's slapdash together, but I'm like, no, this works. Like, it's got callbacks. Callbacks that make sense. All the characters feel good. Like, it's nicely paced out. The only thing that's dumb about it is the Ryu Soldier bits at the end of every episode because they feel pointless. Which maybe they'll feel less pointless after the 4th episode.
Maybe.
Because I think this special is probably going to be better viewed as a, like, 2-hour movie instead of 4 separate episodes. Because it feels more like, yeah, this is like a 2-hour, like, movie special, essentially. But anyway, tell me, what have you been playing these last couple weeks to talk about something that's not garbage Geo?
Well, for one, Daggerhood.
Hey, you've been telling me about some of the speedrun stuff.
Yeah, which, if you couldn't tell, I'm partially distracted because I'm trying to figure out what I keep doing wrong on the one glitch that I kind of, well, I say glitch, but kind of speed strat that I wound up figuring out. Because I keep doing it wrong now, and I can't figure out why. But it's honestly one of those that puts you in the mindset of, like, Celeste. And to be fair, I kind of like that whole fluid movement when it gets done correctly. And of course, I get it like the 5th try.
Oh, I do have better weird news for you. I forgot to tell you about this. You remember me telling you about the Zangetsu stage show or stage play for Gaim?
I believe so.
Okay, well, we found out that there's a stage play exclusive form for Zangetsu. Do you care to guess what it is?
What?
His own version of Kachidoki arms. And by own version, I mean literally the armor repainted. Which, by the way, we're actually getting a figure of this in Figure Arts. Which is a case of, like, what? Like, what? So yeah, Zangetsu gets his own version of Kachidoki, which is just Melon Kachidoki. Like, literally, it's just Melon Kachidoki. And for reference, folks, if Tommy has it pulled up and you're looking at the third photo and the link I dropped you in chat.
I don't actually right now.
Okay. So visualize for folks. If you did watch like the second Gaim Gaiden for Knuckle and we had Black Baron, I don't know if you ever saw the Knuckle Gaiden. Did you?
I actually never did.
Well, there's this guy trying to do Kaito's thing wrong, and he became
Also,
Black Baron.
Sure.
Okay. But yeah, he became Black Baron, which is the Baron figure you see in the back. It's a part of the whole ongoing plot of Gaim that is still ongoing through the novels, and I guess the stage play too. But I guess we have Black Gaim, Black Ryugen, Black Bravo, and Black Knuckle. You can't see Black Knuckle, it's behind the Zangetsu flags. I don't know. I have another photo handy that shows the Black Knuckle. I'd be better off searching Tumblr. No, that's the exact same photo I have already. The exact same set of 3 photos, actually. No. That is Black Grid in the background. I've seen the photo. The better angled photo that actually shows everything in the back. It doesn't look that different, just like the other black forms, which, at the very least, from the photos I've seen from the stage play, the Black Gridden and I think one of the other ones are actually in the stage play. So there's that to look forward to whenever that... it's actually getting a DVD release, so if somebody will sub it, we will see it. I'm just amazed that, oh, by the way, here's another Gaim figure art. Fucking, like, what, like 5 years later? Okay, it's not better, but you can at least see the Black Gridden in the background, kind of. Oh yeah, there's Black Ryugen. In the stage costume, at least. And there's what I assume to be Black Gaim. Yeah, that's Black Gaim because you can see the silver accents. So, yeah, that got dropped on us today, which is probably the more exciting news outside of, oh look, we're getting an Omageo figure in September. Which should be right around we get the next Rider series, shouldn't it?
Probably.
Yeah, which means the Geo figure arts are coming out fairly slowly from the looks of it. At least the premium stuff, which isn't super surprising, but it's still like, wow, I gotta wait till September to get presumably the main bad guy of Geo. Anyway, anything else?
Not that I can think of.
The only thing I've really played is Tetris. Specifically Tetris 99. And I'm bad at Tetris. I can't seem to really get progress anymore. I can't even crack top 20 now. Granted, it doesn't help that the event's going on right now. Do you know about that?
I saw it today, actually, because I did kind of hopped in and immediately got myself killed.
Yeah, I don't think I've broken top 20 the entire time the event's going on. Granted, I haven't broken top 20 in a while, so I'm just being terrible at Tetris. I'm trying to think of anything else. Stuff I've streamed. I tried to see if Fightcade or Fightcade 2 supported the Ghost Chaser Denshi game. No. Because I want to see those team up special moves. Although, from what I saw for Fightcade, it is supremely easy to set up. It's pretty much like essentially a Discord in terms of its layout. And as long as you have the files, you're good. And as long as it's in the list of supported ROMs, which there's a fairly big list of supported ROMs for Fightcade. So that might be a thing to keep in mind for the future. Excuse me, maybe.
Yeah. Played more Ruby Deck Builder. I actually bought all the premium thing to get all the raids and stuff. And
the raids are neat. The only problem is I can't get a match with anyone.
not enough people.
How about 0 people? Like, I haven't super tested it to where I leave it running for like 20 minutes, or leave a lobby open for 20 minutes to see if anyone will actually hop in, but yeah, I couldn't get anybody. So I had to use the AI, and I won every single time with the AI. Bear in mind, I have to spend 75 dust per AI team member I have to recruit. But you can get plenty of dust if you run relics. Like, I was over 1,000 dust before I really got into the raid stuff. Which, you only really want to run the raids unless you just want to play the raids like 3 times. Because if you beat a specific raid 3 times, you get a card to play with. Like, I just unlocked Legion Knights, which are essentially kind of like the White Fang Goons, but instead, I forgot the effect. I'm gonna have to pull up the game. I'm about to pull up the game and risk the audio drivers crashing because for some reason Ruby Deck Builder sometimes crashes the audio drivers on startup. I say sometimes. Again, I don't know why. I don't know what's causing this issue. I seriously don't. It's not the drivers. The drivers are up to date. I think it's the program that's like routing all the audio for me is needs updating.
Well,
I think.
Yeah, maybe. Like, to me it sounds like it's a messed up driver, but maybe the program might be?
I have to think. Was it a hero card? No. Wasn't location, wasn't? Oh no, it's a raid card. Here you go. Draw a card. If this is the first Legion Knight you play this turn, create a Legion Knight and put it in your discard pile. So essentially, you get a draw, and if it's the first one you played this turn, you can create a copy of it and put it in your deck, which means that gives you an extra draw for nothing when it cycles back around. So you can kind of create more situations for you to get draws off of. And you only need, like, to get this once. Like, if you unlock the card, it unlocks, like, multiple versions of it to be picked up when you're playing a game, so. And let's see, right now, for relics, if you do the 7 kind of day one, even though the times are random, you'll unlock Raven, which is an attack and a defense card, along with a villain card.
Huh.
Which goes, if you play when you play this card as an attack, every foe discards a card. Not even specifically target. No, everyone discards a card besides you. But if you defend with it, you have to discard it.
Well then.
And it's a +2 power. And it's a 4 too, which is fairly cheap. Which, if you're running Blake, that's like a 3 if you get the right card and played to cheap it, or make it cheaper. Which is, again, a really cheap thing that if it comes up early on, you can get a hold of that, and oh look, you fucked over every single one of your opponents every time that card comes up. Because you don't need to be discarding cards early on, unless that's your shtick, which I don't think anyone's shtick is to discard cards.
I don't think so.
The only person I can think of that might be it is Ren, because I've played Ren the least. But even then, I don't think Ren's shtick is no, his shtick's upgrades. He's focused on upgrades. Because, like, Nora is focused on what's on the top of your deck, because she can get extra power from whatever's on top of your deck. So you want a lot of cards that have just base power attached to them, because then you can add that power to a card. What else? Pyr is defense. John is he hero? Yeah, he's hero. Weiss is actions and equipment. Blake is villains. Yang is actually wound. She's all about, like, getting wound cards and then immediately turning them into valors. Or just destroying valors in order to get draws. And then Ruby's just all draw. So yeah, no one benefits from that. Although, you know the penny card in that game?
Yeah.
Have you upgraded it at all?
Nope.
You know how when you play it normally, it gives you back one signature card from your discard pile, correct?
Uh-huh.
When you upgrade it, it gives you all of them.
Jeez.
Now bear in mind, you don't think it's that good until you remember, oh right, the key cards for my character count as signature cards. So you just get those back in your hand. Like, those count as signature cards. Which is just I get my core gameplay back if I played it last turn. Yes, please. Like, that is insane that you can do that. Like, damn, Velvet, you were kind of busted in that respect of just like, just do your thing again. Do it again. Only problem is I don't think you can get other signature cards that give you power, unfortunately. So they're not that helpful. Otherwise, I dig it. It's neat. I just wish I could play with people for the raid stuff. Because the raid stuff are like, take what you know and then do something different with it. So I've done the Atom one 3 times. And for the Atom one, you don't gain villain cards. Instead, you defeat them. But every time you defeat a villain card, the top card on your deck gets +1 power. Regardless of if it has power or not. So you can turn like a doubt into a +1. Which is nice. Because if you upgrade that, that becomes a +3? Yes, +3 instead of a +2. And if you have a really good card in there like Silver-Eyed Warriors, which is a +5, oh look, that's a +6 now. And if it's on the top deck multiple times when you do this, oh look, it can be stupidly overpowered. But you have that, but essentially, you have to take out Atom 5 times, the boss card Atom 5 times, as he increases in the amount of energy you need to beat him, before his card or any number of White Fang goons reach the lineup for the Atom card, or end up in the void for the White Fang goons. And it's at like 10 plus. Which, you know, considering you're having to get cards out of the lineup, yeah, that can happen. That number can go up pretty quick as you're trying to pull through, because remember, it's you plus 3 other people that are working together trying to beat him. So you're all trying to get cards. So it's this tricky, like, I'm trying to get cards, but I don't want to draw too many cards, because also, just as an extra little wrinkle, you know how the Void takes 1 card off the lineup if there's 5 cards in play?
Yep.
Now it's 2. So now it needs to be down to 3 in order for no card to be voided off the lineup, which is impossible to do early on. So yeah, I dig the raids. I kind of want to play a few more raids to see how they change them up, because all the raids are different in how they play. Assuming, based off the description, they sound like they all play differently. So you have to come in with different strategies. The one thing I wish in this game is that you didn't just have 2 characters to pick from every time you start a game. I wish you had access to all 8.
Yeah.
That's like the one thing I don't like, because I'm like I'm sure for like certain raids, like some people will be better than others. Like, I think the cards do get modified, because like the what is it? I think it's the White Fang dropship one. The one that is if you own so many heroes, you get like plus power. I think I forget the name of that card. But that one gets changed for the Atom raid. So I have to assume, like, Blake's gets changed because, you know, she can't gain villains anymore, which is her shtick. But I would still rather play, like, anyone else but Blake for the Atom raid, since, you know, my whole strategy with Blake is to overwhelm you with attacks, and I can't do that anymore. So now I'm just focused on building power. Or like, I don't know, like Pyrrha, because hers is all defense stuff, and you're not getting attacked really in this raid, so there's nothing to worry about defense-wise. Yeah, I have nothing else. So, shall we move on to articles?
I guess we shall.
Alright. So, Octopath Traveler was a good game, right?
Yeah.
So you would like more Octopath Traveler, right?
Yes.
How would you like an Octopath Traveler prequel?
Okay, I'm listening.
But it's on mobile.
And now the question mark comes up.
But it looks just like Octopath Traveler normally on Switch.
Except it's not.
And you still have 8 characters to choose from. And also, you kind of looks like have access to all 8 characters at the same time, I think. Like, bear in mind, I'm looking at the trailer for this, which is the YouTube link inside the tweet that's embedded in the article.
Which I'm probably not gonna wind up pulling up because, yeah, potential.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what it looks like. Is you have access to all 8 characters. Kind of. Actually, let me super pay attention to this gameplay real quick. I was thinking you have like your main party and you swap out as necessary to the reserve party members. So you have your main lineup, and then like depending on a weakness, you would swap somebody around. Because aren't the Octopath Traveler like party members kind of like split in half? Because there's kind of a duplication across all 8 of them. So where like you can pair 2 of them up.
I think so.
I know their traveler skills kind of do that same thing. No, I think you just have access to all 8 of them at the same time. And it looks like it just plays just like Octopath Traveler. Except it's on mobile. And currently it's Japan only. Which is the extra wrinkle. So we don't know if or when this is going to come stateside. So, how interested in you are you in words? They're extremely hard. I'll tell you what. How interested are you in this?
Question mark.
Yeah. Although I'm not super worried about that for me because, oh, this is Japan only? Oh, look. I have an Android emulator on my PC, so, oh, Japan only? Oh, boop. I have it now. You can, as long as, there's literally an app for the Android emulator I have that is just do you want this app that is region specific? Okay, here you go, and it still updates normally. Like, that's how I'm playing, like, Super Sentai Legend Wars, and I was playing Kamen Rider City Wars, even though they're Japan only. And I should theoretically not be able to play them, but I am. So, I guess whenever this goes up, as long as it doesn't cost money, I can still get it. Because that's the only hitch, is that, I can't cheat. The only thing I can do is get the APK of it, and then I can play it. But if it costs money, I probably still have to buy it, assumingly. Anything else?
No, I ain't got anything else to add to that.
Alright, so you know how the Xbox One was really trying to focus on being a digital platform essentially back in the day when it was first announced?
Yeah.
How do you feel about them trying that again?
I mean...
Well, assumingly, according to rumors, we will be getting the Xbox One S All Digital Edition, which is essentially a discless Xbox One S. So, two questions off the bat on this one. One, how much hard drive space are we looking at? And two, what's the price?
Yeah.
Because if that hard drive space isn't that big, you've defeated the entire purpose of having an all-digital console. Like, literally defeated the purpose. That thing should have a 2 terabyte at a minimum. And also, I would think it should cost less than, like, any Xbox One that's on the market right now. Or at least, it should cost less than an Xbox One S when it was first released. Assuming its price has dropped any since then. Like, if you don't do those two things out of the gate, you're not really promoting this in any, like, good way. Just throwing that out there. You have any thoughts on this?
No. I mean... no. I just don't know if this will turn out too good. It might. I doubt it.
I know one person I follow on Twitter was like, yes, this was going to go over supremely well. Say goodbye to your disc games. And I go, look, that's going to happen eventually, I know it. Which also means there goes our ability to have control over our content of our games. Because, yeah, that's going to go out the window with it eventually.
Except for, you know, Nintendo might have the right idea. Go back to cartridge based. Because effectively the Switch runs off of basically a modified SD card.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, some SD cards can hold as much as like small hard drives, and really is kind of on point with the SSD drives as far as storage.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be the smart option, actually. Which would be funny that we would go that full circle.
Yeah. Well, you know what wasn't a smart idea?
Is this a trick question?
Well, I have a small addendum to add to this article before we get into it. Okay. Supposedly, these are early designs, which means this is not the final version of Sonic for the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. I say supposedly because this is an awful lot of work for a not final design. Like, if this was still concept art stage, there wouldn't be this much work put into it. Just saying. And even if it's not, I don't think it's going to be that radically different. But yes, folks, we have the full model for your boy, Sonic, for his live-action debut. You are already not happy about this.
I feel like just looking at that, my eyes want to puke.
Is it weird that some of these look better than others? Like, I'll be honest, if you scroll down to that running one looks awful. It looks so bad there. And I don't think it comes down to the design. It comes down to how cheap it looks.
No. I will argue both parts of that.
Okay.
It looks cheap. I'm not going to argue that part.
Yeah.
But no, the design. Look at any kind of model for Sonic. They wow on the proportions, and that's what makes it horrible.
Yeah, he's a little...
wow.
He looks too human.
Yeah.
Also, he has no gloves, by the way.
It looks like we've got a human that tried to merge with the werewolf Sonic that we had, and that kind of just happened.
Yeah. Also, he has no gloves. He has white fur on his hands.
Sonic has gloves. Those are gloves.
Also, he technically has socks, kind of, sort of. Why does he have no socks? Also, is Nike sponsoring this movie? Because that's a Nike swoosh on those shoes. And the one photo. I don't see it in the other photos, but I only see it in this one photo.
You know, when people said Sonic needed to stick to the screen, they meant, like, show length, not movie length. And, like, animated, not trying to be real life.
You know what he really looks like?
What?
He looks like an animatronic. He looks like a Chuck E. Cheese animatronic.
Huh. Yeah.
Like, I keep looking at this one photo that gives us the full body shot, and I'm like, if you told me that was a puppet, I wouldn't say no. Because it looked like a puppet. Or like an animatronic of some variety. Because that's what it looks like. That's why it looks so weird, is it's like it looks so artificial. Which is hilarious to say, because we have the Detective Pikachu movie, which looks good on all of the models they've done, and because they look far like more realistic than this. In terms of, oh yeah, I believe that actually exists. That's actually on. That actually is a thing. And
Which is
instead of
immensely
this, yeah. But the article guesses that we'll see something the 16th at South by Southwest, which means we might get a trailer in like 2 weeks.
funny. Which means we
Actually,
get an
a week.
actual reason to hate this movie.
To be fair, it could be worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
It could be the Monster Hunter movie. Just want to put that on the table, folks. This could be the Monster Hunter movie. At least Sonic's here for this movie. Monster Hunter movie? Nope. You are not getting a proper Monster Hunter movie for probably half that runtime. It is going to be garbage.
Also, is
So
Sega
garbage.
gonna do the dumb thing that they possibly could do and try to do a Sonic the Hedgehog the movie, the game?
Yes.
Because I swear that would just be the icing on the cake. Like, that would be the horrible icing on the horrible cake right there.
Yes.
Although, to be fair, at that point it would have to be a 3D Sonic game, and we would therefore continue the trend of Sega has not made a good 3D Sonic game since Adventure.
I think anyone who plays Colors will argue that Colors is a far superior game to the Adventure games.
I say that with a little bit of hesitation because that might be the only exception. The only exception. And if people want to say that is the exception, fine. That literally is the only one the only 3D Sonic game I've not seen to some capacity since Adventure 2 kind of deal.
To be fair, Colors I think is the only pure 3D Sonic game. Because Generations isn't pure 3D because of classic Sonic. Sonic Forces is not pure 3D because of not Generations. Shit. Wow, I can't think of the name. Sonic Mania Sonic. Who would that still be classic Sonic? Is that just a dumb splitting of hairs that just doesn't need to exist?
Yeah, because I don't think in Mania it's directly referred that, you know, that's the Sonic, well, the 2D Sonic from Generations, so that's a question mark. Like, for all we know, that could be a weird, bad continuity thing where technically, timeline-wise, that could be the 2D Sonic from post-Mania, even.
Yeah.
Which, at that point, you'd have to say post-Forces, because, yeah. Like, the only definitive with that 2D Sonic is the fact that he's from Mania, and Mania is definitively after Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Yeah. Crap. One with the Werehog. That's not pure 3D because of Werehog.
Close enough. And
That's the weird thing.
I will not try to argue Forces simply for the fact of I don't think it's all bad. It's just got a lot of bad in it, kind of deal.
Apparently the speedrun's fun because it's nonsense because of the avatar.
Well, duh.
Because, Lightspeed Dash?
It's kind of why 06 is a bad game, but it is an amazing speedrun.
Yeah.
It's one of those weird things that Sonic games tend to hit more frequently than they should, where they're just a bad game, but they're a great speedrun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is why people who like Sonic complain about Sonic, really, I think, is because, like, Sonic has been very experimental for years. Because they kept trying to, like, find some new way of just, well, here's
Going
Sonic
fast.
gameplay. Yeah, but, like, here's the thing. They've, like, went, all right, you want more Sonic, right? Would you like a character action game in your Sonic? No. Would you like classic 2D Sonic with your 3D Sonic? Would you like a platformer Sonic? Would you like an RPG Sonic?
Would you like
a Mario Party Sonic?
Rail Runner Sonic?
Yeah.
Because you can't forget about them.
Uh-huh. Like, Sonic has been a lot of things in these last, like, really decade, I feel like. It's like, yeah, if I was a Sonic fan, I would be like, can we just have Sonic? Please? Because it seems like every time they've experimented really hard, it's kind of failed.
Like, both the adventure games did good. Heroes, if you get past some of the voice dialogue, is moderately okay.
One time through?
It's not horrible if you can overlook the voice dialogues. It's one of those, I'm sorry, I could never speedrun Heroes no matter how much I would try because of that. And pretty much from there till Generations, it's just one of those, it's like, no.
It's like, I like half this game because half this game is the Sonic game I want to play. The other half is not the Sonic game I want to play because that's not Sonic. It's a genre that Sonic does not fit.
Well,
it's a square peg going into a round hole.
Well, it boils down to, case in point, Unleashed. Half the game is horrible because it's Werehog.
Mm-hmm.
06 is 06.
06 is unfortunately a broken mess of a game.
I think 06 just files its own category in Sonic games. That might only be topped by Boom.
Yeah.
Because at least 06 is a fun speedrun.
Boom is just every kind of worse bad.
Well, okay, Wii U Boom. Because from what I've heard, 3DS Boom is pretty good.
Which is so weird.
Yeah, it is. It's funny.
That is not how this works.
What's hilarious about it, though? Wii U Boom is the only thing that drags Boom's name in the ground. TV show included. It's like
somehow the TV show is just dead on with its jokes and its references and humor.
And I have to wonder if Sega had listened to the QA team on Boom and had actually produced a good game with it without having to worry about trying to rush it or anything like that, because I feel like that might have been the problem. It got rushed.
I believe it did.
I wonder if that could have maybe shaped Sonic in a different sense.
Maybe.
And if so, I wonder how that would have actually affected, like, going forward. because Generations probably still would have happened regardless. Which,
Yeah.
I think, was it before or after Boom? Because I can't remember right offhand.
I believe it was after Boom.
So that probably would have happened regardless. I'm thinking it was. But that makes me wonder too, then, if we would have actually gotten Mania or Forces. And if maybe Forces might have been a different game at that point.
Oh no! Generations came before. Rise of Lyric came out 3 years after Generations.
So then, yeah, at that point, we definitely would have at least had Mania. The question would have been, would we have had Forces if Boom had done different?
We probably would have Forces, but instead of the Avatar, it would have been Sonic Boom Sonic.
Maybe? Like, it feels like they held on to some of the stuff from Boom with the Avatar, so that makes me wonder if maybe the game might have took a whole different shift. Because the Avatar is the big focus, not so much Sonic. It's kind of one of those... Gets back to the reason why I said Forces has problems, but isn't as horrible either.
Yeah. Like, I just feel in my gut that I'm like, this Avatar system feels like it's kind of just thrown in here. Like, this doesn't feel like this was originally going to be in here.
It probably actually was going to be the main force of the game, no pun intended. I realized that as I was saying it, my bad. That was not meant to happen there. But the reason I kind of feel that way is because I think they had to rethink the plan when Boom kind of just fell flat on its face.
Yeah.
Thanks to the Wii U. Because, I mean, let's be honest. And I think that might have been where it shifted.
Yeah. Because, like, even I think if looking back to, like, the original trailer for it, when Classic Sonic showed up, there were hints that it was the Mania Sonic and that we were going to deal with the Phantom Ruby. So there was a tie-in to Mania there. So it feels like you might have also wanted to maybe tie this into Sonic Boom then, and have Sonic Boom show up, because Lyric would have been a bad guy in the plethora of bad guys, because, you know, it's not like half of them do anything, which is also really weird that it's like, oh, you have all these copies of bad guys, and most of them are pointless. Like, Chaos only shows up for cutscene. The one guy from the what is it? The Wii U one? The genie? I think he's a genie.
The one from Lost World?
Yes. He's in, like, the first level and then he's gone. Like, not Shadow isn't even really a thing. I think you only really fight Metal Sonic and that genie as bosses. Otherwise, you don't really fight any of the returning bad guys. You don't even fight Shadow. Which... why would you not fight Shadow?
You know what else well, I could maybe get that one. The whole Shadow Sonic rivalry has kind of just been going on so long that everyone knows it's a thing. So why beat that one in?
Well, I don't think even in the Shadow DLC, Shadow fights Shadow. So it's like, yeah, there's another Shadow. We never really deal with him. He's just kind of there as just another, like, thing there. Because remember, there is a Shadow DLC that is like 4 or 5 missions that tells Infinite's backstory of how he was just some schmuck goon that I think Shadow kind of injured, and he got real mad about it. And he went and volunteered to have the Phantom Ruby stuck in his chest. At least I think that's the plot. It's been a while. But yeah, Shadow doesn't even fight Shadow, which feels like this should be a boss fight. Like, Shadow versus Shadow. Fucking, like, Silver's here. And, like, Silver does nothing except get his ass whooped by Infinite in one cutscene.
Well, I mean... it's Silver.
Also, Silver's here, but no Blaze. Which is the biggest fuck you I've ever seen, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's just like, I'm sorry, Silver, but this whole, like you are Sonic's counterpart in terms of a hero. No, Blaze had that role already, and she did it better. Hell, she has her own version of the Chaos Emeralds in Super Sonic. Like, I'm sorry, but no. You can't be that.
Well, I mean, he could, but... No.
No. Also, why have we not capitalized on that? That's a thing from the Game Boy Advance games of, like, yeah, Blaze has her own universe where she is just the Sonic of that universe, essentially. Like, why don't we build a Generations game around that idea?
But
like,
she was in Generations.
As a playable character. Like, ponder this idea. A Generations style game where you have Sonic and Blaze as the playable characters, except you get a 2D Sonic, and then as a kind of new thing to throw in there, a past 2D style Blaze.
I could see it. Sega wouldn't.
Yeah. Like, that would be a neat idea to be like, alright, we have Blaze here. What if we designed Blaze back in the day? What would she look like? What would her moveset be if she, like, how do we reverse time on Blaze to a Genesis era game where she would be? Because, once more, like, Blaze is essentially Sonic in a lot of respects. Why do we not have her just be playable for a game? Because, you know, we're all about trying to get female leads in games. Hey, Sega, you got one right here. Like, perfectly gift wrapped to be in her own game as a Sonic style game. And I'm sure people would love it.
Yeah, but people love Sonic. That's Sega's mentality, and you know it.
Yeah.
It's like, Sega, no. People love bashing your mishandling of Sonic. Big difference.
Shall we move on to better news?
I guess we can.
Well, we had our tightest, quote unquote, I forgot, like, is it 7 minutes? Was it a 7-minute direct? I don't remember how long the direct was. It was like quote unquote the tightest 7 minutes in the world for a Pokemon Direct. Because we have Gen 8 now. And here is the short and long of what we know about Gen 8 right now as of the recording of this podcast. We have 3 starters. Grookey, Scorbunny, and Sobble. We have the names, Sword and Shield. We have the region, Galar? Galar. I don't know why I put a D in there. Galar. It's a European-style region in terms of UK European, not France European. Which still feels weird because there's going to be a bit of crossover there in terms of design styles. Although this might be interesting because this might be the region that the Kalos region was at war with way back in the day in their story. Because that's a thing in that plot of X and Y, by the way. I forgot about that part. And we do have gyms, and they're helmed by gym masters. Not gym leaders, gym masters. There's no note of what the distinction means. And, oh, there's no random encounters. Or there are random encounters, my bad. There are random encounters. There's no Pokemon on the field. Assumingly. And, that's it. That is all we know about Gen 8 Pokemon right now. So, Tommy, how you feeling about finally knowing Gen 8?
Honestly, I'm up for it because of the simple fact of it's not going to be a Let's Go clone.
I am sad there's no Pokemon on the overworld.
If we have to lose that to not have to have the dumb capture method of Let's Go, fine.
Yeah, because, oh yeah, you do battle wild Pokemon. So there's also that there. So how you feeling about the starters?
I'd like to know a little bit more about evolution. Like their second and third forms kind of deal. Because it's like... I want to see how we go from these starters.
Yeah. I saw somebody, quote-unquote, leak the evolution lines for the three of them, but the same person attempted to leak the Alolan starter evolution lines before they got officially announced, and he was only right on one of them in concept.
Oh, wow.
The other two were so far off. So, no. I wish I had the picture saved to show it to you. Because I would show you that, and then I'd show you what he said before, and you would quickly realize, oh, right, no. That's... And by concept, I mean he only got right that Rallis evolution would give him a cloak. And he would be an archer? Kind of. But design-wise, it's not close. Which is why I say he only got the concept right. Like, Litten just becomes a bigger cat. He does not become a professional wrestler. And Papio becomes a clown? Like a weird, scary-looking clown seal? So, yeah. Honestly, I would love to see more, although I might be on board for Scorbunny because I feel like his signature move is going to be giant flaming soccer ball to the face. And I am for that. Also, I can't wait for Scorbunny's final evolution to be firefighting and everyone to complain about it.
If it's not, I'll be surprised.
To be fair, we haven't had a firefighting final evolution since Black and White.
Yeah, but something's just telling me that's probably gonna be what'll happen. Because that feels like it.
Yeah. Granted, assuming its final evolution will be kind of soccer player, kind of like, what other typing would it have?
Yeah.
Because it won't stay pure fire, because I don't think any of the final evolutions of fire starters have been pure fire. Honestly, I think pure final evolution starters is a rarity among all of them.
I think you're right.
Actually, I want to look that up. Or maybe not, because all of the Johto Pokemon were pure types. And 2/3 of the Unova ones were pure types. Tepig was the exception there. Okay, not as rare as I thought it was, but still. I will say one thing. I am probably playing as a female Pokemon trainer because I cannot dissuade the headcanon that the female Pokemon trainer is Scottish. Because if you compare the map to actual map of Great Britain, your hometown is right around where Scotland is. Meaning you're vaguely Scottish-esque. Or whatever the Pokemon equivalent of that would be. Which has led to many of funny and hilarious things about her being a very angry and upset Scottish person. And I can't unsee that now. I'm sorry, but no, I will be playing as a female trainer. And I will probably be saying things in a vaguely Scottish accent. No matter what the dialogue says. I kind of dig the name Sword and Shield. Like, you gotta go with a pair of names that make sense. You might as well go with Sword and Shield, especially since we're in a UK, European region. Knights, sword, and sorcery stuff. Might as well.
Yeah.
Although, if we do not have Doggo, like, box art legendaries based off these logos, I will be very upset.
Now,
because it looks like we are getting...
The question is, 2 legendaries or 1 legendary that can hold 2 forms?
I would say 2 legendaries, because that idea only really comes in through to a 3rd game, and that's only ever happened twice. Black 2, White 2 did that, and then Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon did that. So I highly doubt it will be the same Pokemon.
I'm just meaning they could switch it up. Since this is... God bless it, I've got to quit doing that. Because this would be the first one to be on the Switch. What I was going to finish saying. That's why I was like, God, I got to quit doing that.
True.
Unintended pun master over here.
I think as long as it looks cool, as long as we get a cool dog or a cool wolf, either case, I'll be fine with it. Which, I don't know, is it weird to ask the question of which version you're getting right now?
Probably, because we don't know anything defining the two versions.
Yeah, I just find that weird. It's like, which version are you getting? They're the same game right now. They're like, yes, there will be differences, but we don't know the differences, so they're practically the same game. Why are you dropping a pre-order on, like, based off logo alone? I think you would be far better off to wait till...
Yeah, because, I mean, you can't even really utilize the logo to determine the legendary, even.
Yeah. All we have is this vaguely dog-shaped head as the hilt of a sword, or not. Actually, it's the handle, or the top of a shield. Like, otherwise, we have nothing. Except, I'm gonna guess that the sword one will have a bluish color scheme, and the shield one will have a reddish color scheme. Also, goddamn you, Nintendo! I saw that. I just now saw that.
What?
Red and blue.
Wow. And you know what's funny? That's like a double whammy.
Yeah.
Because think about the two colors that were used for the Joy-Cons when the Switch first released.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone's made the Xenoblade Chronicle 2 joke too, because the two main characters of that game, Rex and Pyra, are red and blue. God damn it. I didn't even realize that they did that. They snuck in a reference like that. Granted, it's weird with the knowledge of, oh right, the original Pokemon releases were red and green, not red and blue, but shh, don't worry about that. Red and blue were the better versions of them. Because that's the versions we got.
Which, now that I'm also thinking about it, that actually might have been like super on purpose too, because isn't this gonna be the first truly 3D setup for Pokemon?
This will be the first mainline Pokemon game on a console. It's not the first 3D Pokemon game. And it's also not the first 3D adventure Pokemon game. But it is the first 3D mainline, or first proper mainline title Pokemon game. You have to make that caveat because we did get Colosseum and Gale of Darkness, and both of those do play like a mainline Pokemon game, but neither one are a proper mainline Pokemon game because there's no true capturing in that game. You're more just stealing dark Pokemon from random trainers.
So you're just
and yes, I do mean what?
So you're just being a thief.
Yes, you are and when I say steal, I mean you are literally stealing them. Because you have a doohickey that lets you just yoink those Pokemon. And only those Pokemon, mind you. And that's because they're dark Pokemon that require purification in order to become regular Pokemon again. But yeah, that's the caveat there, because we have gotten a 3D adventuring kind of mainline title Pokemon before Let's Go. It just wasn't proper Pokemon. And Let's Go, even then, is not quite the proper mainline title. It's the closest we've ever gotten till now.
Of course, truthfully, Let's Go is a pre-Gen 8 test kind of deal.
It's more or less all right, let's make sure all our tech is good, and we'll use this to make sure all our tech is good. And okay, our tech's good? Cool. Cool. It's a nice little test bed for any dumb idea we have. And we make sure it can run. And also players will like it. Also, I think Pokemon YouTubers have been picking apart every single detail in order to get anything, which is probably a bad idea. Because I know you have that mural thing on the side of a mountain in the trailer that I'm sure people have picked apart, and like it has a real world counterpart, but that could just be a thing. That might not even be connected to the legendaries, because bear in mind, I assume our legendaries are dog based, because that's what's on the logo. And like even Soglio and Lunala were incorporated into the Sun and Moon logos.
Yeah, I don't think they were as directly incorporated though.
You had a shape that represented them, but it wasn't like a direct reference.
Whereas I feel like this might be more of, not necessarily a direct, but more of a direct reference.
It's outright stating, yes, the box art legendaries are going to be probably dog / wolf / somewhere in that ballpark range motif in terms of their design. And they will probably be incorporating a sword and a shield, because that are the names of the games. Make of that what you will in your head until we announce them probably around E3-ish.
You know what would be really funny? Which I know they won't do it, but if they didn't state the legendaries period until like the game released, and then we find out that the logos are actually the legendaries.
So our legendary Pokemon,
and a dog shield.
It's literally that.
Like that, I know they won't, but that would be hilarious if they did something like that.
I was about to say, I feel sorry for Honedge.
It'd just be one of those that'd be like, yeah, so you sat here trying to pick apart this, and we told you what the legendaries were from the start.
I feel sorry for Honedge, because the legendary is doing exactly what Honedge's design is, of literally being a sword. Because that's what Honedge is. He's literally a ghost sword. That if you try to wield him, it will kill you. Because it liches, or it siphons off your life force. Just throwing that part out there.
But yeah, I just think that would be hilarious if they did that. Just to be the big ultimate troll to everyone that tries to get every little thing out of every trailer. It's like, yeah, you missed that.
Yeah. I dig everything I've seen, or everything we've seen so far. The environments look cool. Granted, Let's Go looks nice, which is like the best compliment I can give Let's Go, is that it actually looks really good.
Yeah.
Graphically speaking.
I can't stand that capture method though.
Yeah.
Like, that's really what it boils down to. So, seeing Gen 8 saying, okay, we're not doing that, I'm like, okay, I'm listening then.
Well, we do have one last article, and it is related to Pokemon, and it is also extremely dumb. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying this is fan-made, but this was also in an actual newspaper in South America. So, a local newspaper decided to print an article talking about the new Pokemon that came, the new Pokemon games when they announced. They apparently decided to also add in this fan-made third version that is not real, just to make sure everyone knows, just in case you thought this is real, it's not. But there's Pokemon Gun. So, yes, a newspaper.
I love the fact that that logo looks like it could be official.
That's because someone actually probably made it.
And I feel like it might not be a case of we're going to see it anytime soon, but I almost feel like we might have a third version with this one.
We'll probably have a third version at some point.
Just to kind of finish the reference that you were noticing with the whole red and blue.
Yeah, we'll get a green since we technically already have yellow.
Obviously, at least with the naming motif that they've got, Gun is not going to be it regardless.
No.
But I could maybe see like Spear or some other kind of weapon based like that.
Yeah.
That way it would still tie into it. And it really wouldn't matter what it was called. And actually, I just thought of something. I might have hit that without even trying. Because think about it. Sword, shield, it would probably be another S.
Yeah, more likely, probably. To keep the bit of alliteration it's got there. Also, I can probably tell you exactly how they recreated that.
Okay.
Alright, you have your standard Pokemon logo. You can grab that anywhere. Hell, you can literally grab it off the other two logos. The dog head is literally one of the other dog heads copied over.
It's Shields. Because it's pointed the same direction.
Well, you can take the sword one and flip it.
Yeah, but it'd be easier just to take Shields.
Right. And the gun, I guarantee you, is an actual gun somebody just looked up and just color overlaid it. Because if you notice, there's like actual bits that would be on a gun on this gun. I guarantee you, that's an actual gun somebody found and just color overlaid green.
I could see that.
And then the gun text, you can recreate that in Photoshop.
Like the lettering would have been what took the longest.
Yeah, because you gotta recreate that style. But like those gun holes, you can just do that with an eraser. You just, because the eraser's default is circular. So like, get it just the right size, boop, boop, boop. Like the longest that took is the lettering. In order to get it like gradient correct in the outer part, which I'm willing to bet the white border is either a copy of the lettering made bigger, because I've done that, or it's
too uniform all the way around it. You can see it in the G.
Oh yeah,
it's an outer glow. I've done that.
Yeah,
it's to hide some of the imperfections they left.
Probably.
Because that's the old trick in the book right there.
Mm-hmm.
Case in point, I am wanting to say the TGSN logo, I didn't exactly get some things perfect, but I could kind of monkey around with other layer effects like that, and it made it look good.
Yeah. Yeah, you can actually even see where the clip goes into the handle on this. This is too good of a gun model. It's too specific of a gun model, is the insane part to me of like, fucking erase the little, like, not crosshair, technically. But, like, eliminate that bit, shave off the barrel, because there's a barrel bit right there, and shave off that. Like, square it up some and make it, like, less obvious that you literally took a gun and just color overlaid it.
But at the same time, I can see why they didn't. The shield and the sword both have a little bit more detail to them.
True.
But like,
But they feel...
okay, here's something though that you could completely say. Down by the clip, they should have just made that all rounded right there.
Yeah.
Instead of that stagger, because now that I'm looking at that, yeah, that's exactly what they did.
Also, I might have noticed something about the sword and shield that they didn't carry over for the gun.
What?
Yeah, they didn't gradient the gun. The gun doesn't have any type of gradient texture on it. It's just a flat green. Because if you look at the sword logo, it has these little white dots on the shit, what's the name for it? The guard, and it also gradients from a blue to a lighter blue, kind of almost a teal, and the red goes from kind of this lightish red to kind of a darker maroon red.
Did you notice something with the gradient on the text? I'm sure there's one on the sword there, but you kind of can't tell it because it's too close. But look at how Shield's gradient is. Then look at
yeah,
guns.
it's in like it. That's just like a basic gradient, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, its shield is like in this X pattern, and swords, I wouldn't say it's a gradient. It's more like, actually, no, it isn't even a gradient. It's two different, like, bits of the word.
But it's
if you
probably all one gradient.
And like no, it's not gradient.
And like I said, you kind of can't tell because of the way it's set up too.
Yeah. I don't think it's gradient. I think the top half of sword is one color and the bottom half of sword is one color. Also, I never noticed it, but like the bottom half is slightly like kicked off to the right.
Like, I pulled the other article up to actually get the better looking image.
Yeah. But yeah, if you look, it's more pronounced at the end because you can more see it with the D, but they're all like shifted to the right a little.
I'd say they didn't with sword because the fact of it is cut in half kind of deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, shields is an hourglass.
Yeah, it's more of an hourglass than an X. Yeah.
And guns is just a flat gradient. Which to this I say, with the way they did gun, it honestly probably would have looked better if they tried to do like splash gradients around like the bullet holes.
Yeah, that would make it look better. So you have like an impact, like shockwave coming out of the bullet holes.
Granted, that also means you'd have to do a little more work, but
If you're going to fake shit like this, granted, they probably weren't trying to fake it for anyone. They're probably doing it as a joke. But if you're gonna do this stuff, Like, see how far you can go with it, man. Especially if you're trying to legitimately fake shit.
Yeah.
Like, you better go all in, or you will get nitpicked to hell and back when you don't get the details right. Because it's easy to just, like, have this show up in a Google search, especially the day of, and have it be mistaken as legitimate. Even though, like, 5 seconds from an official source would tell you otherwise. Especially that same day.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
What?
I just happened to see an imperfection, and I was thinking, okay, well, maybe that was where they tried to copy the wolf head. No. They did one better. They forgot to erase the little bit that's sticking out to the left of the wolf head. That's part of the gun, not the wolf.
I figured.
I'm like, that's one of those, it's like, oh, wow. You could have, like, shifted that to the right just a little bit, and that would have worked.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if you don't go all in on the details and get and you make sure everything lines up perfectly, you will be nitpicked to hell and back, and you will be proven wrong. Hard. Because somebody will go, oh, your shadows didn't match up. Like, you're not using the same shadows technique that would be in the actual game, or you're not using this or that actually would exist in the game.
And, you know, that's something else that I happened to spot. Both the sword and the shield have it's faint more in sword than shield, but it has kind of the details outlined.
Uh-huh.
The gun is just a color overlay. If that was legit, they would have like some kind of a line signifying like the barrel and stuff like that. One of those rounds of applause.
Yep. Anything else?
No.
Alright, let's talk releases! We actually have a short list this week. But we're going to start things off on the 12th. We've got Bombfall in Claybook for Switch, Dissidia Final Fantasy NT Free Edition for PlayStation 4. They're really trying to get this game like into people's hands because the new Dissidia is apparently not gone over well. We've got Ghost of a Tale for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, Lego Marvel Collection for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, MX vs. ATV All Out Anniversary Edition for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, Rico for PlayStation 4, The Caligula Effect Overdose for PlayStation 4 and Switch, The Elder Scrolls Online Rastone for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, The Wizards Enhanced Edition for PlayStation 4, and Tom Clancy's The Division 2 Gold Steelbook Edition for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. I actually forgot that I actually played the open beta for that. Well, quote unquote, I played the open beta for that. My computer did not like that game.
I don't think I played it.
I got some hardcore hiccups while trying to play it, and I think it's because I need more RAM to actually play that game. Because it did not like trying to play that game at the settings it tried to put on it. Which were pretty low. Which is fine. I'm not super interested in any of the looter shooter live service games because I don't care enough to be invested in these. You're not doing anything to invest me in them to start with. Next up, we got the 13th with Baba Is You for Switch. Ty was playing this past week. It looks really good. Did you check that out?
No.
All right. Imagine you have a block shoving puzzle game, except you're using like computer coding logic. So you connect 3 blocks that say Baba Is You, but if you have another block that says like Flower Is You, and there's a bunch of flowers on the map, well, now you're just the flowers and you're in control of them now. Or you're trying like you need a way out. You have a win box, and you need 2 more boxes that say that this thing is win, so you touch the thing and you win. It's a lot of like just, I wouldn't say it's programming, it's more just logic, which is kind of what programming is to start with, but it's more like core, like if this is this, then this is this, then I win kind of deal. And it looked really neat. Although I did sit there for one of them where Ty supremely overthought it. And I was like, I was thinking like this should work, this idea I had, but I wasn't sure if it was legal. Because I wasn't sure if you could connect up, like if you use an is and have like one line for a thing and another line kind of making a plus sign, and it would work. It would count that. It does. And like the game later on throws in ins or has, which Ty I think solved one the wrong way, where he had a logic sequence that said box has key has box, and essentially since the box could be destroyed, it infinitely spawned a box or a key and another box. But since box had key, it created an infinite series of boxes and keys for him to win with. I don't think you were supposed to solve it that way, but it looks like this game is kind of like with Breath of the Wild, where it's a case of there's the correct way, there's the intended solution, there's the solutions we thought people would make, so they're allowed, and then there's the shit we didn't think people would come up with because we didn't test that one. But yeah, he literally created an infinite series of boxes and keys in order to escape and win.
That's funny. Of course,
I
was mentioning at the start of the show about Daggerhood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same kind of concept with that. You could tell there is stuff that is developer intended. Stuff that the developers knew could help cut down times and levels. And then there's stuff that you can tell was not fully thought through. And yeah. It's one of those, it's when you find those answers that makes it even more fun.
Yeah, I might be interested in this at some point, if just a quick little game. He also played a game like Murmoss of the Demon Blade, like a Villanoware kind of game that's like $10 on Steam. That's like 3 hours, and I'm like, this looks neat. Also on the 13th, we've got Rico for Xbox One. I don't know if Rico's supposed to be coming out all on one of these specific days, or if it really does come out over the course of 3 days on 3 different consoles, which, by the way, Rico for the Switch does come out on the 14th. Just to skip ahead to that part for reference. I don't know if this is legitimately the case, or it's just GameFAQs fucked up and doesn't know which day it is.
Probably. I know there wasn't a yes or no or probably thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, just probably.
But also on the 14th, we've got Captain Toad Treasure Tracker Special Edition for Switch. or it's not special edition, special episode.
Yeah, same
So
thing.
the DLC episode, that's like $5 or so for more treasure tracker puzzle solving. We also got Golf Peaks and Motorsport Manager for Switch.
I don't know about everything else, but Rico does come out on the Switch on the 14th.
Well, I already said that part.
No, I mean, I don't know about the others. So it might come out over the course of 3 days. Or it might all come out on the 14th. One of the two is entirely possible, but the Switch one definitely is. I just looked on the eShop.
Hell yeah! So, on the 15th, we have Bloodwave for Xbox One and Switch, One Piece World Seeker for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. That's actually an open world One Piece game. Like, I saw the opening cutscene recently, and I'm like, oh yeah! This is that open world One Piece game where you play as Luffy. So, you get to play as Luffy in an open world setting in One Piece, so yay! This may be something for someone who's looking for an Arkham style game, because it might be in that vein. Maybe. I'm not sure. My gut says it's kind of along that line of like an Arkham or a Spider-Man, in the sense of you play as a character, you go beat up bad guys, you get upgrades to travel around better and beat up more bad guys better. We also have Sephirotic Stories for Xbox One. And properly Tom Clancy's The Division 2 for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. On the 18th, and this is not a rumor, this is legitimate because I believe it's been confirmed, Turok is coming to Switch. Like N64 Turok. I might be one of like 14 people who remember what the fuck Turok is. Do you remember what Turok is?
No.
Okay, it was an old first-person shooter where you had to deal with dinosaurs. I don't think Turok was that good. But it's an FPS that you had to shoot dinosaurs with because they were trying to kill you. Picking up on the 19th, we have American Ninja Warrior Challenge for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch. Battlestar Galactica Deadlock, Sin and Sacrifice for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Fate Extella Link for PlayStation 4, Switch, and Vita. Ni no Kuni 2, Reverend Kingdom, The Tales of a Timeless Tomb for PlayStation 4. Penny Punching Princess for Vita. SNK 40th Anniversary Collection for PlayStation 4. The Longest 5 Minutes for Vita. And The Lost Child for Vita. By the way, the Vita is going out of production in Japan. So, we are close to the Vita being definitively dead. Like, definitively dead in the same vein that the Wii U's dead.
That's not
on the
surprising one bit, actually.
No, it's not. I am surprised the Vita is still getting games at this point. But I think most of the games it's getting right now are just the remote play stuff for PlayStation 4. Picking up on the 20th, we have Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon Everybody for PlayStation 4 and Switch. Excuse me. And we have Hell Warden, or Warders for Xbox One. On the 21st, we have The Sinking City for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. On the 22nd, we have Peasant Knight for Switch. Sekiro's Shadows Die Twice for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. That's the new Dark Souls style game from Software. It looks pretty good. I didn't think it came out this early until I was doing releases. I'm like, oh shit, that comes out this month. Ty was even surprised because he's like, wait, that comes out this month? Is that actually from Software or somebody doing the same style of game as from Software? No, it's from Software. We also have Sushi Time for Switch and Unravel 2 for Switch. And on the 23rd, we have Deponia for Switch. And that's it. And for quick draws, I have a dumb thing. So, you know how we're getting like a bunch of board games based off video games recently?
Yeah.
How would you like a Kingdom Hearts one? Coming from USAopoly, we have Talisman Kingdom Hearts Edition, where our playable characters are Sora, Donald, Goofy, Riku, King Mickey, and Kairi. And based off the description, it seems to be under, like, kind of like KH1, kind of, is what it's taking inspiration from. Which is funny, because Mickey doesn't show up until the last 5 minutes of KH1. And Kairi's, like, unconscious, and her heart's inside Sora for most of the game. Also, Riku is a bad guy for most of the game, too. Until the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, but shh.
Because it says specifically to seal the door to darkness, and I'm like, that's KH1. And that box art is literally the box art for KH1.
Yeah, but
But it's coming out this year. I guess it's a KH version of Talisman. I have never heard of Talisman before. I don't know how it plays. I really don't keep up with board games anyway.
Same.
Mainly because I have no way to play them. Especially no one to play them with. Unless it's board game online. And even then, I don't own that. But yeah, I just thought I'd throw it out there. It was either this or the fact that Sagat Sanshiro is making a reappearance for Sega's anniversary. Coming soon. Meaning, yes, we are getting some Sagat Sanshiro nonsense soon. Which, if you know you're Sagat Sanshiro, you'll be happy. And if you're a Rider fan, you'll also be happy, because that's Ichigo's actor. That's all I had.
More than I had.
Yeah. I decided to drop a pre-order on the Ryu Soldier mini pla, since Ami has an option to just get the 5 pieces instead of a box of 10, which would give you 2 copies of everything. Because I don't need 2 copies of everything. I dropped a pre-order. It doesn't come out till April, and I assume late April. So I'll at least have like about a month's worth of episodes to go, okay, I like this show, I'll keep this pre-order, or I don't like this show, I would like to delete this pre-order. But I have hope for the show, because I would like a good show. I went back and started rewatching Gokaiger.
Oh, wow.
Like, us watching Doubled made me go, God, I want to rewatch Gokaiger. Because, like, Marvelous is in the Super Sentai Strongest Battle special. And I'm like, you know, I just want to watch Gokaiger now. And I'm, like, up to, like, episode, like, 10. In a rewatch of it. And I'm like, God, I miss good Sentai. Because I'm like, not only is this show good, it's also really good at, like, making sure that each of the Gokaigers is different. Like, even in the special attack, where they're all either shooting a gun or slashing their sword, if you just pay attention to, like, an individual person, you'll see that they all do it differently. And all of it fits their personality. Like, there's so much care to the fact that even when they go into the Gokai changes to become the different, like the past Sentai members, they're still themselves. Even when they're like fighting like a past Sentai member. It's this weird cross-section of themselves and that character in a weird sort of way that just works. Like, Gokaiger is a really good show. Which apparently that's blasphemous to say, maybe. They're sort of like, I think it's a good show. I don't know why I've seen people complain about Gokaiger, saying Gokaiger's like a good show or something. Or like is one of their favorites. Apparently that's a thing. And I don't understand why. Like, it's fine. It got more tributes than they were originally planning, but like, that was for the better. Because it doesn't mean we still didn't get character development for everybody. Anyway, anything else?
Nope.
Alright, then in 2 weeks, we'll be back with the podcast. And between now and then, I'll continue playing Thousand Year Door and something for Wednesdays. I need to figure that part out. I don't know yet. We'll figure it out Wednesday. And we'll be doing more talking and watching double on Tuesdays. And the Fridays and Saturdays will be the usual multiplayer fun stuff. Or co-op / multiplayer fun stuff. Because I assume we'll be back to Ocarina of Time this next week.
Yep.
I assume we'll be doing Shadow Temple proper.
Should be, yeah.
And are Hover Boots Shadow Temple? I would assume so.
I don't remember.
I feel like it should be because it seems like that's the one last like big major piece of equipment we don't have.
It might be, but I can't remember right offhand.
It'll probably be like this next week is Shadow Temple proper. The week after that, depending on if we do get through Shadow Temple, will be us working our way to Ganon. Because I don't know what's between us and Ganon's fortress. Or wait, no, it's the desert place. You were telling me that. Yeah, it's the Gerudo place as child and adult, depending on how far that goes. Then it should be Ganon's fortress. Which, I don't know how long it would take us to get through Ganon's fortress. I would think we could both make it through in a stream.
Hopefully. Like
it didn't seem that long. Because I think I caught the tail end of one of Spike's runs. And it didn't seem like Ganon's fortress was that long. It seemed just more like you just get in 2 battles and you just work your way up. It's just a question of how long will Ganon be a dick to us and kick our asses? But anyway, that's it for us, folks. We'll see you next time.